One of my favorite things is when you catch moments of Republican politicians telling you what they really think. Usually it's when they think the cameras are off and they're talking amongst their supporters. So here's Senator Ron Johnson, who's, by the way, one of the worst senators in the country. He's really underrated in terms of how bad he is. I mean, he's hideously bad. He comes out and he says he supports this innovative idea to force seniors back into the workplace. Let's listen to it.
There are a number of innovative ideas I would support. Former Senator Phil Gramm came to the Senate. We were talking about our labor shortage, and one of his suggestions was to coax seniors that could re-enter the workforce. Don't charge them payroll tax. They're not paying it anyway, so they want to get back and earn a few extra bucks. Let them start working and don't charge them payroll tax.
So coax seniors back into the workplace, coax them back in, and then say, well, but we'll give you a tax cut. Boy, if they're seniors and they're retired, you shouldn't want to coax them back in the first place. Oh, okay, all right. So this is what they say behind closed doors, right? And by the way, they're open about the fact they want to raise the retirement age. They wanted to do that. So the left-wing answer to Social Security and whatever issues it has, which, by the way, the issues are always overstated, is you raise the cap on the Social Security tax so that, see, right now, if you make like $10 million a year, you pay the same in Social Security tax as somebody who makes like $150,000 a year. So if you just raise that cap and tax the person who makes $10 million more for Social Security, then it's fully funded as far as the eye can see. The right-wing response is raise the retirement age. So just force people to work longer. Which one do you think is the better answer? Tax rich people a little bit more, or force your grandma and or grandpa back into the workplace where they will be miserable for however many more years in their life? So this is what these people are into. Now, by the way, they're certainly going mask off now a hell of a lot more because of the stuff Biden has been doing recently, like the student loan debt reduction. It's forcing them to come out and show the world how unpopular their real positions are, because they're arguing against it. You have Ted Cruz and a bunch of Republican, attorneys now saying, we're going to sue to try to block this. You're going to try to block student loan debt relief for 43 million Americans? And their answer is yes. Well, okay, you can do that if you want to do that, but just understand, there are political consequences to that, bitch. There are political consequences to that. Okay, so I got one more for you. So here we have, now this is the House of Representatives. We have a Republican representative, Buddy Carter, and he wants to roll back another recent Democratic accomplishment. Let's listen.
How do you undo that? Let's say that happens and that this money goes out to all of these kids, 40 million plus, and then a federal judge comes along and says you can't do that. How do you undo the money those people got?
Well, that's a great question. And we've been asking that question not only about student debt loans, but also about a number of initiatives that have been instigated and put into place by the Biden administration, just like in the Inflation Acceleration Act that I mentioned before with the prescription drug pricing. That is something I'm very interested in as a pharmacist. And I've been asking my colleagues, how are we going to undo that when we get into the majority?
How do you?
That is an incredible admission. So as part of the Inflation Reduction Act, they have certain drugs. There's going to be a negotiation with pharmaceutical companies to lower the cost of certain prescription drugs. Now, the reason why this provision wasn't great is because pharma lobbyists got their hands on it and basically made it so that it's not every drug. It's only some drugs. So that's why it's sort of a bullshit provision, is because it's too soft. It's too like, okay, let's get the ball rolling on this. Let's get it started. Let's negotiate for some drugs, but not all drugs. And let's have, a time limit where it's a certain number of drugs per year and it increases over time. But again, the reason why it's bullshit is it didn't go far enough. This guy's saying, I want to undo even that mild change in the right direction. He wants to get rid of negotiating for any drug prices. So in other words, he wants to raise prescription drug prices. He wants to bring them back up. And he's openly saying it. He's saying this on national TV on Fox Business Network. Saying the same thing, let's roll back the student loan debt elimination. He's saying that. And he's saying, let's raise drug prices. Guys, this is what these elected officials believe. What's amazing to me is I get the sense that these people used to have the ability and the wherewithal and the knowledge to, like, let me try to hide my corruption a little bit. Let me try to hide my true beliefs because my true beliefs are odious. Let me try to put one face to the world, and then, behind closed doors, I have different opinions. It's the thing Hillary used to say. There's a public position and a private position. These guys used to do the thing where it's like, yeah, I want to lower drug prices too. I just think there's a different and better way to do it. This is the thing they used to say, right? Now they're just out there like, let's just raise prescription drug prices. I want them to be higher. Let's force your grandma back into the workplace. Like, okay. Now look, again, my message to Democrats is very simple. These people are the easiest in the world to beat. You just need to actually deliver for people and then brag about your accomplishments. That's it, and point out how crazy they are. That's all you have to do. I mean, they're giving you attack ads that write themselves, man. They really are. Will they take advantage of it? Because again, you have these two moments. I'm one of very few people who will even highlight this and say, look what they're talking about. Raise prescription drug prices, force grandma back into the workforce. Like, okay, if that's your agenda, by all means. But look, the only people that really would sign up to that agenda, knowing what it truly is, are like, the corporate CEOs, right? The top, 1%. 80-90% of the country would recoil at this and be like, what the fuck? I mean, when you poll that thing about lowering prescription drug prices, I'm sure it's like 90% or near 90%. And this guy's like, no, I'm against that. Okay, dude. Okay. Get those ads ready. Cut those ads, because this is beyond parody. If you want to see me and Crystal Ball interview legends like Noam Chomsky, Cornel West, and more, subscribe to Crystal, Kyle, and Friends on Substack. $5 a month gets you the video version a day early. Remember, we take 0 ad dollars for this podcast. Or you can sign up on Substack for free and get the audio version a day later. Link in the video description box below.